Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. That's Christmas done for another year, and I hope you all had a good Christmas with your loved ones, ate a lot, drunk a lot, and got everything you wanted. But now the important stuff's back, and Premier League football is back now for Arsenal, playing West Ham on Thursday, 8:15 kickoff at the Emirates. And it's a big game. It's a game that will officially mark halfway point of the season. So after this, we would have played 19 games. And if we win, we go back to the top of the table after halfway through, which will be very important to do. And I'm sure Arsenal will be looking to do it, especially at home in a London derby. In a derby some people call the Declan Rice derby, which I will not be calling it. I'll just call it Arsenal versus West Ham. But it will be a massive game, and a massive game for Declan Rice when he, welcomes his old teammates back. Well, not back, he welcomes his old teammates to his new home, and I'm sure he'll be looking to get 3 points. So yeah, let's just go into it and talk about the game. Arsenal versus West Ham, and like I said, it will be a very tough game. West Ham are in good form at the minute. Their last 2 games, they scored 5 goals, conceded none in the Premier League anyway. In obviously the Cup, they conceded 5 to Liverpool. But they are a team that's very, very dangerous, and they have a lot of threats. None more so than Jared Bowen up top. Whether he plays through the middle or on the wing, I'm not sure. But recently he's been playing centre forward for West Ham, and I imagine that's where he'll probably stay, as he's been scoring goals there. He's got 11 goals in the league this season, 1 assist in 17 games, and he is just a very dangerous player. Very good finisher, very quick, makes good runs off the shoulder. Obviously, isn't the biggest, but he will definitely be looking to expose Arsenal's high line and get in behind and score goals. And he does tend to have a decent record against Arsenal. I'm not sure how many he's exactly scored against us, but he does tend to score goals against Arsenal. So it's something for us to definitely keep an eye on. And I said he is West Ham's top goal scorer. And then the man providing him, or 2 men providing him, will be very dangerous as well in Paqueta and Kudus. The one I want to look at the moment mainly is Paqueta. He's been, he's really come into form recently. He's got pretty much 5 assists in his last 2 games. Got 3 against Wolves, 1 clear assist against United, and then 1 that they may take off him, but it's basically an assist. So essentially he's got 5 in 2 games. And he's really stepping up and playing well. He's someone, who plays in that left 8 role really, really well. Someone who I think Arsenal should be, or should have been looking at anyway. Would have done really well for us. I don't think they would have went down too well with West Ham, us coming to them in the summer and taking their 2 best midfield players. But hey, that's something I think Arsenal should look at. I think he's the right profile for us. And then obviously on the right wing, they have Kudus, who's taken to life in the Premier League, like a duck to water, really, scoring goals. He's creating goals. He's so direct, really good left foot, good finisher, and he's going to be up against Zinchenko directly one-on-one, and that is probably the biggest area of concern, I would say. You'd like to think Saliba and Gabriel going, 2-on-1 essentially with Bowen. As good as Bowen is and as quick as he is, they should be able to physically dominate him. And I think, we can get hold of Paqueta in the midfield, especially with Rice in there. But Zinchenko versus Kudus is where I'm sure West Ham are going to be looking to cause us the most problems, and where they are definitely capable of causing us the most problems. Kudus is very strong, very quick, very technical. And we saw it in the Cup game when West Ham beat us 3-1. Kudus, gave Zinchenko a really tough time. The goal he scored, just a long ball over the top, over Zinchenko's head as usual. And he's just taken a great touch inside and buried it. And I'm sure that is where West Ham are going to be looking to hurt us. So it would be interesting to see if Arteta sticks with Zinchenko in this game. Backs him at home and backs Arsenal to control the game, to limit his defensive frailties as much as possible, or if he'll bring in perhaps a Kivy or to deal with them long balls over the top. But then again, can you really trust him? I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. And set piece wise, West Ham are very strong in set pieces. They have a very, very big team. Obviously, we're going to be missing one of our biggest players in the team in Kai Havertz, as he's been suspended for this game. So set pieces is another thing that Arsenal defensively are going to have to keep an eye out for, especially when they've got James Ward-Prowse in their team, who's, you know, the best delivery of a dead ball in the league. So it's going to be a really tough game. I rate West Ham. I know West Ham hate Arsenal now because we took Rice off them, but West Ham are the club I've always respected. And yeah, it's going to be a really tough game. But if Arsenal play their game and play how we have been recently, we should be getting the job done. And like I said, it's a big game for Declan Rice. It's a game I'm sure he's going to want to prove he made the right decision to leave West Ham and join Arsenal. And I can see him being right on it from the start and just getting about the pitch and playing like he does. But it's a big game for Arsenal's attackers, mainly. That's what I'm looking at, especially Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli, should they both play. Martinelli, I spoke about it on my reaction to the Liverpool game. I thought he had a really poor game. And I don't think he's had the best season so far. Definitely not giving up on him like I've seen some people on Twitter. I mean, I say some people. There's just these ridiculous fan accounts that just talk shit just to boost up their views. But, you know, some people talking about Martinelli being sold and stuff, I think it's ridiculous. He's just going through a tough time. But we all know, the potential he has, and when he's on it and he's playing well, he's got the potential to be, in my opinion, the best left winger in the Prem. But this season he has struggled. You look at his stats, you know, he's played 16 games, got 2 goals, 2 assists. He did get a big goal for us against City, which, you know, some people say it's not really his goal because it did deflect heavily off Ake. But he still come on and changed the game for us there. And when he's playing like that, he's a real handful. He's so quick. He can be so direct and beat people, get crosses in, and he's a really good finisher. He's just been struggling. I don't know why, whether he's struggling with lack of confidence, or whether he's carrying a knock or whatever, or maybe he's just struggling dealing with the getting doubled up on, like Saka is. But Saka seems to be finding ways more efficiently than Martinelli is to deal with it. But I was thinking about this. Would I drop Martinelli for this game? I think I'd probably keep him in up against Kufal. Kufal's not the quickest defender, and I think Martinelli can definitely cause him problems. But it is a really big game, and we need him and Jesus to start scoring goals and start contributing to the attack more. I mean, when you look at Jesus as well, in 13 games he's got 3 goals and 1 assist, and you know, for our front three and then the quality of those 2 players is just simply not good enough. And if we're going to win the Premier League, I mean, I find it hard to think that, you know, if we win this game, we're top of the Premier League with those 2 not really at it. And you can even argue with Saka and Odegaard as well. They've not had the best seasons, but they're still putting up half decent numbers, whereas these 2 seem to be really struggling. And it's really big game for them, and I really need to see them start kicking in, especially at home with the crowd behind them. You know, it's a London derby, and you look at Arsenal's record in London derbies recently, we haven't lost in 17. So it's a massive game, and I really need them to start contributing, because if we're going to have any chance of winning anything big, especially the Premier League, we need our attack scoring goals. And when you look at last season, Martinelli scored 15 goals in the league last season. Let's say he doesn't score tomorrow, just for example. That's halfway through the season already, and he's only got 2 goals. And that's it's very unlikely in the next 19 games he's going to score 13 and end up, you know, at least matching his tally for last season, when in reality we needed the players to not only match it but go up a level and, you know, start scoring more goals. The only person who's really on track to maybe beat or at least maintain what they got last season is probably Saka, maybe Odegaard, but will he get 11 goals in 19 games? Well, 20 games at the minute. Maybe, but it seems quite unlikely, I'd say. Oops, sorry. Drop my clicker. And Jesus as well. I mean, he got 11 goals last season. Obviously, he had injury, so he could still maybe get to that 11. But really, truly, we need him getting at least 15. So unless, you know, them 2 start clicking and start scoring goals again, I think in the long term it's going to be really, really tough for us to win anything, because I can't see us signing a striker in Jan personally. So massive game for the forward line, and I really want to see Martinelli somewhat back to his best, especially Martinelli and Jesus. But I want to see them. I think Jesus has played overall okay, whereas I think Martinelli's overall performances haven't been great. So I really want to see him back to his best, hungry, driving at players, you know, beating players, getting shots off. I mean, he'd done all right against Brighton, to be honest. He was quite unlucky not to at least get not to at least get an assist or a goal in that game. But Liverpool, I thought he was quite poor. He started okay, had a couple little moments, but overall it's just not been the Martinelli that we've been used to seeing at Arsenal. So big game for him, and I hope he really kicks on. Just going to go into my predicted 11. I think it'll be Raya in goal. Well, it will be Raya in goal. Right back probably be Ben White, and Ben White, it's an important game for Ben White. He needs to be careful, because if he gets booked, he will be missing the Fulham game, and we just can't afford to have him suspended at the moment. You know, we need to try and get this game done as quick as possible, and then maybe bring him off just to get him some rest ahead of the Fulham game, as he's our only right back at the minute. Yes, we've got Cedric, but I don't really want to see Cedric playing games. So yeah, and he's going to have a tough game up against Paqueta probably, so he just needs to be careful. Centre backs will be Saliba and Gabriel. Obviously, like I said, I expect them to physically dominate Bowen, but they do need to be careful with his pacing behind and just any half yard he gets in the box, because he is a really, really good finisher and he's scoring a lot of goals at the moment. So, but yeah, I expect them to physically dominate. Left back, I think it will be Zinchenko. I think Arteta will stick with him, and you know, especially like I said, in home games, getting on the ball and dominating. So I can see him being involved. But then, like I said, it kind of wouldn't surprise me if Kivior plays, but I'm going to stick with Zinchenko at left back. Into the midfield, I think Jorginho might come in for this one. As obviously I said, Kai Havertz is obviously out, so I could see him coming in just to try, you know, keep controlling the game and give Declan Rice that license to break forward and make runs into the box. So I think Jorginho will play, and then it'll be Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard next to him. Said big game for Rice, probably quite an emotional game, and it's one I'm sure he's going to be absolutely desperate to win. Odegaard, I think, looks somewhat back to his best recently, and he tends to play quite well against West Ham, Odegaard, so I can see him having a big impact in this game. In the front three, I think, well, Saka will 100% play. He's been a bit quiet recently, hasn't had a goal contribution in a couple of games. I'm sure he's going to want to step up and grab a goal or an assist. Jesus will start up top, and I think he will stick with Martinelli on the wing, you know, in hopes to play himself back into some form. And yeah, big game for Arsenal and a big game for the front three. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. You know, like I said, chance to go back to top of the table, and it's one, you know, Arsenal need to take. We've got a fairly favourable run coming up. Our next four is West Ham, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, and Nottingham Forest away. It's a chance to put, you know, 4 wins together, get 12 points. And then we go to the actually I think the FA Cup would have already been played by then, but then after them games there's a small break, and then yeah, it'll be good just to go into that mini international break, that mini break in the season, top of the table, and then hopefully get some players back and crack on. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think, West Ham's biggest threats, what your team would be, etc. Oh, and predicted score. Sorry, I just realised I didn't do that. I do think it'll be one Arsenal win, but I think it will be one West Ham make tough. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win, like it was in the same fixture last season. I think Arsenal will just hopefully have enough, but I can see West Ham scoring, whether it's from a set piece or a breakaway goal from Kudus or Bowen. But Arsenal do need to be on it, because they do have plenty of threats, and if we're not at 100%, West Ham are the type of team who will punish you. So yeah. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, like I said, any thoughts you have, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you after the game on Friday. Thank you, bye bye.